When I was alive, before all this happened, I was a Muslim, like everyone else in my village. My father was an imam, my brothers were devout Muslims, and I myself had led prayers many times. People respected me because I prayed 5 times a day, I fasted during Ramadan, I paid zakat, and I always told my children, Islam is the truth.
The testimonies featured on this channel are presented as received, reflecting the personal experience and perspectives of the individuals who have generously shared them with us. We encourage our viewers to approach these testimonies with compassion and understanding, as these are personal testimonies of people involved. We also encourage you to always refer to the Holy Bible and the teachings of Jesus Christ and His apostles for guidance. You can consider subscribing to the channel to support our ministry.
My brothers and sisters, today we are about to hear one of the most shocking testimonies that has ever come out of Sudan. A story that will shake your heart, stir your spirit, and open your eyes to a reality that many people have been blinded to for generations. This is not just a story of one man's near-death experience. It is a story about Africa, a story about deception, a story about eternity. In Sudan, like in many other parts of Africa, Islam has ruled the minds and hearts of families for centuries. Children are born into it, raised in it, taught to obey its rules without ever questioning. Mosques echo daily with calls to prayer, and imams teach that Islam is the only way. But what happens when one of their faithful followers dies and comes face to face with the reality of eternity? What happens when death reveals the truth? This is exactly what happened to a 50-year-old man named Tahir. He was an ordinary Sudanese Muslim, devoted to his faith, respected in his village, and trusted as a man of religion. But when sickness struck him down and death wrapped its cold hands around him, Tahir's soul was taken out of his body, and he was shown the very things that no eye has ever seen and no ear has ever heard. He saw the torments of hellfire, the emptiness of Islamic paradise, and the truth that Jesus Christ is the only way. His testimony is not just a personal experience, it is a direct message to Africa, a message that Muslims in Africa have been fooled for centuries, a message that Islam cannot save, a message that Jesus gave him with fire in his eyes. There is no place in heaven prepared for Muslims. What you are about to hear will shake you. It will scare you. It will challenge you. Some of you may even cry. But it is the truth that must be told, for time is running out and eternity is real. Now, without wasting any more time, let's hear from Tahir.
I never doubted, I never questioned. I believed that if I did everything right, if I followed the Quran, if I obeyed the teachings of the Prophet, then paradise was waiting for me. But in 2024, something happened. I fell very sick. At first, I thought it was just malaria. My wife gave me herbs, we prayed, but the sickness grew worse. I became so weak I couldn't stand. My children saw me sweating and trembling, and they cried. On the 3rd night, my breath became shallow. My chest was heavy. My eyes rolled back. And then I felt something leave me. I saw myself lying on the mat with my family screaming and calling neighbors. I wanted to speak to them, but my mouth would not move. My body was lifeless. I realized I was dead. 2 beings appeared. At first I thought they were angels of mercy, but when they grabbed me, their hands were like fire. Their faces were dark, terrifying, and they dragged me into a tunnel. I screamed, "La ilaha illallah!" I called on the Prophet Muhammad, but no one came. As we went deeper, the screams grew louder. I smelled burning flesh. I heard voices begging for water. And when the tunnel opened, I saw fire stretching as far as the eye could see. Men and women were chained, their skin was melting, worms crawled in and out of their bodies, and above them creatures struck them with spears. I saw imams. I saw women who had worn hijabs all their lives. I saw children who had died young, and yet even they were not in peace. I asked one of the beings, "Why are these people here? They prayed, they fasted, they gave zakat." And he looked at me with eyes like burning coal and said, "Because they did not follow the truth. Islam is a lie. There is no salvation here." My whole body trembled. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to believe this was a dream. But then I saw something that shook me more. I saw my own father, the imam. He was standing in the fire, crying. He looked at me and said, "Tahir, don't come here. Don't follow what I taught you. I was wrong. I was deceived. I told you Islam was the way, but I myself am in hell." I screamed. My heart broke. How could my father, who dedicated his whole life to Islam, be here? I thought surely Allah would have mercy on him. But there was no mercy. Suddenly, I was shown what they call Jannah, the Islamic paradise. I saw gardens, rivers, beautiful women. But as I drew closer, everything began to vanish like smoke. The rivers turned into blood, the gardens burned away, the women turned into skeletons, and a voice said to me, "This paradise is a deception. It is not real. It is only to blind people so they will follow Islam into destruction." I wept. My soul shook. I thought, then where is the true place of peace? And then I saw a bright light, so bright it blinded the darkness. Out of that light came a man dressed in white, with scars in his hands. His eyes were full of fire, but also love, and he said, "Tahir." I fell to the ground. I trembled. I had never seen such authority. He lifted me up and said, "I am Jesus, the Son of God. I am the only way. Your people have been fooled for generations with Islam. Africa has been deceived. There is no place in heaven for Muslims. The only way is through my blood shed on the cross." I cried and said, "But I am a Muslim, Lord. What about me?" He said, "That is why I have shown you this. You must return and tell your people. Tell Africa that Islam is a lie. Tell them I am the way. Many will hate you, many will persecute you, but you must stand for the truth." Then he touched me, and suddenly I was back in my body. My family was still crying, preparing to bury me, but I gasped and opened my eyes. They screamed. Some ran out of the house, thinking I was a ghost. But I was alive, and I carried a testimony that would change everything.
When I came back to life, my whole body was trembling. My lips were dry. My chest hurt. My children clung to the wall, afraid. My wife, Halima, dropped the bowl of water she was holding. I looked at her with tears in my eyes and whispered, "Do not fear. Jesus has brought me back." But the moment I said the name Jesus, she gasped. She put her hand over her mouth. "Astaghfirullah," she cried. "Do not say that name in this house. Are you mad?" I tried to rise, but I was too weak. I stretched out my hand and said, "Halima, listen to me. I saw your father. I saw my father in fire. They are not in Jannah. Islam is a lie." She shook her head violently. No, don't speak like this. You will curse us all. The neighbors will hear you. Be silent, Tahir." But I could not be silent. The images of hell were burned into my mind. The screams of my father, the smell of burning flesh, the deception of the false paradise. I could not keep it inside. I gathered my strength and told her everything. How the angels dragged me, how I saw the fire, how I saw the so-called Jannah turn to dust, how Jesus appeared in glory and told me the truth. At first, Halima resisted. She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. If what you say is true, then everything we have believed, everything is a lie. I grabbed her hand and whispered, "My love, would I lie to you? Would I invent this? I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the Lord Jesus. He said there is no place in heaven for Muslims." Her eyes widened. She looked at our children who were huddled in fear. Then she whispered, "If this is true, then what will happen to us?" I said, "We must follow him. We must accept him. He is the only way." For 3 nights, I told them everything again and again. I could not sleep. I could hardly eat. My heart was burning with fire. Sometimes I would wake up in the night hearing the screams from hell, and I would cry out, "Jesus, save me!" Finally, on the 3rd night, my wife came to me with tears. She said, "Tahir, I cannot deny your words. If you really saw this, then I will follow you. I will accept this Jesus." I wept like a child. I held her and prayed, though I did not know how to pray in the Christian way. I just said, "Jesus, we believe. Save us." That night, peace entered our house. For the first time, I felt a lightness in my spirit. It was not like the heavy weight of Islam. It was freedom. My children also began to believe. My eldest son asked, "Father, will Jesus also save me?" And I said, "Yes, my son, if you believe." He knelt beside me and prayed. But soon, the peace was shattered. One evening, a neighbor came to visit. He had heard that I had died and returned. He asked me, "Tahir, what did you see on the other side?" I hesitated, but the fire in my bones pushed me to speak. I told him everything. I told him Islam is a lie. I told him Jesus is the truth. His face turned dark. He stood up, trembling with anger. "You are possessed! How dare you say this? I will tell the imam!" He ran out, and I knew trouble had begun. The next morning, the imam of the mosque came with 3 men. They entered my compound, their eyes sharp with suspicion. The imam, a tall man with a gray beard, looked at me and said, "Tahir, we heard you are saying dangerous things. Is it true?" I swallowed hard. My wife squeezed my hand in fear, but I could not deny Jesus. I said, "Yes, it is true. I died. I saw hell. I saw the deception of Islam. I saw Jesus Christ, and He is the only way." The imam's eyes blazed with fury. "Blasphemy!" he shouted. "You bring shame to this village. You insult Allah. You insult the Prophet." One of the men spat on the ground. Another raised his hand as if to strike me. My children cried. The imam pointed at me and said, "Tahir, if you continue this madness, you will not live here. You will be cast out. You will lose everything." And just like that, the persecution began. Neighbors who once greeted me turned their backs. Children whispered when my sons walked by. Women mocked my wife at the well. They said we had betrayed Islam, betrayed our ancestors, betrayed Sudan. But what they did not know is that my heart was on fire. The vision of hell pushed me. The voice of Jesus guided me. I could not stop. I began to tell others secretly. I told 2 of my cousins, but they reported me to the elders. One night, rocks were thrown at my house. My children screamed in terror. We huddled together, praying to Jesus, asking Him to protect us. The next morning, the imam came again with more men. He shouted so all could hear, "Tahir is no longer one of us. He is cursed. He has betrayed Islam. He must leave this village." And that was the moment I realized following Jesus would cost me everything. My home, my land, my people, But I could not go back. I could never go back, because I had seen the truth with my own eyes.
The day they cast me out of my village is a day I will never forget. The sun was setting red over the desert sky, and the Imam gathered the men at the mosque. He declared loudly, "This man, Tahir, is no longer one of us. He has denied Islam. He has spoken the name of Isa in a way that insults Allah and His Prophet. He is cursed. Let him go, for if he remains, the wrath of Allah will fall on us all." The people shouted in agreement. Some threw stones toward my house. My wife held our children close as we wept silently. I knew there was no hope of staying. That night we packed what little we could carry, some clothes, a bag of dried sorghum, and a small water container. With trembling hands, I kissed the doorway of the home I had built with my sweat. My children cried, "Father, where will we go?" And all I could say was, "We will follow Jesus. He will guide us." We walked through the darkness, leaving behind our village, our land, our relatives, everything we had ever known. Behind us, the sound of drums echoed as the people celebrated our expulsion, shouting curses and prayers against us. As we walked, I felt the weight of despair crushing me. My children were hungry, my wife's feet were bleeding, and I thought, maybe I should have kept silent, maybe I should not have spoken. But then, in the stillness of the night, a gentle voice whispered in my spirit, "Blessed are you when they persecute you for my name's sake. Great is your reward in heaven." I fell to my knees in the sand and cried. My wife knelt beside me holding my hand. We prayed, "Jesus, do not forsake us." In the days that followed, life became a wilderness. We wandered from village to village. Some people chased us away as soon as they heard my story. Others gave us water, but their eyes burned with suspicion. My children cried from hunger, and my heart ached with guilt. Yet every night, Jesus gave me dreams. In the dreams, I saw him walking beside me, carrying a lamp. He would say, "Tahir, you are not alone. Speak, even if they reject you. Tell Africa the truth." One night, as we rested under a tree, I saw a vision. In the vision, the map of Africa appeared before me. A dark shadow spread over it like smoke, and I heard the voice of Jesus say, "This is the deception of Islam. My people are perishing. My children are chained. You must tell them. You must speak, even if they hate you, even if they drive you out, even if you die. Tell them I am the only way." I woke up shaking, drenched in sweat. My wife looked at me and I whispered, "The Lord has given me a mission. We cannot keep silent." So even as we wandered, I began to speak. In hidden corners, under the shade of trees, I told men and women what I had seen. Some spat at me, some threatened to kill me, but a few, just a few, listened. Their eyes widened with fear. They whispered, "Could it be true? Could it be that we have been deceived?" And quietly, secretly, some began to believe. But persecution grew stronger. In one village, the Imam ordered the young men to beat me. They dragged me into the square and struck me with sticks. My children screamed as blood ran down my back. They shouted, "Renounce this Jesus! Return to Islam!" But I lifted my head, and though my lips trembled, I said, "I cannot deny him. I saw him. He is the truth." They left me half dead in the dust. My wife washed my wounds with tears. That night I thought I would not survive. But as I closed my eyes, I saw Jesus again. His hands touched my wounds, and he whispered, "My servant, you will not die yet. I still have work for you." And indeed, I lived. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know something. Following Jesus cost me everything. My home, my land, my family's honor, my peace. I became a stranger in my own country.
But I also want you to know this. What I saw is real. Hell is real. The false paradise of Islam is a lie, and Jesus Christ is the only way to eternal life. Africa has been fooled. For centuries, Islam has been a chain around our necks. It has blinded our fathers and misled our children. But Jesus is calling Africa. He is calling Sudan. He is calling Nigeria, Egypt, Somalia, Chad, Mali, Senegal, every corner of this land. He is saying, "Come to me. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life." As I tell you this, my heart is heavy because I still see the faces of those burning in hell. I still hear the screams of imams, of women, of children who died without Christ. It breaks me. It makes me cry at night. But it also gives me strength to speak. Because if I remain silent, their blood will be on my hands. I lost my village, but I gained Jesus. I lost my people, but I gained eternal life. I lost my home, but I gained a kingdom that can never be shaken. And so, to whoever is listening to me now, I say, do not wait until death opens your eyes. Do not cling to religion, to tradition, to deception. Jesus is the only way. He saved me from the fire. He showed me the truth, and He is calling you today. That is my testimony. That is my story. That is my warning to Africa. I am Tahir, a man who died, saw eternity, and returned with this message. There is no place in heaven prepared for Muslims. Only Jesus saves.